Shalom, beloveds. This is CIA's greatest hits. Hit number 2, Operation Gladio. The CIA was created by the National Security Act of 1947. The ink was barely dry on it before an army of spooks began marching through the law's majority loophole. The CIA could perform such of their functions and duties as the National Security Council may from time to time direct. This deliberately vague clause opened the door to more than 60 years of criminal activity in the name of national security. One of the first duties of NSC, deemed necessary, was the subversion of Italian democracy. In the name of democracy, of course, Italy seemed likely to elect a leftist government in the 1948 election. To make sure Italians voted instead of for the candidates Washington favored, leftover black shirt thugs from Mussolini's fascist party and other Nazi collaborators, millions of dollars were spent on propaganda and payoffs. It was also intimated that food aid would be cut off and the election results were inconsistent with U.S. desires. The U.S. got its way in 1948 without having to resort to violence, but as was discovered in 1990, the CIA had organized a secret paramilitary army in post-war Italy, with hidden stockpiles of weapons and explosives dotting the map, called Operation Gladio, from the Latin gladius, a type of short word, an ostensible in West Germany, often directed quite naturally by former SS officers. They didn't just wait around for the Russians to come marching in. They assembled huge armed caches, many of which remain unaccounted for, compiled blacklists of leftists, and in France participated in plots to assassinate President de Gaulle. Many members of Operation Gladio were also in the shadowy organization known as P2. It too was financed by the CIA. P2 had connections with the Vatican and the Mafia, and eventually with an international fascist umbrella organization called the World Anti-Communist League. See hit number 32. We'll get to that. One of P2's specialties was the art of provocation. Leftist organizations like the Red Brigades were infiltrated, financed, and/or created, and the resulting acts of terrorism, like the assassination of Italy's premier in 1978 and the bombing of the railway station in Bologna in 1980, were blamed on the left. The goal of this strategy of tension was to convince Italian voters that the left was violent and dangerous by helping make it so.